Hi everyone, so we're back to the lithium-ion cell capacity checker, and you can see that the screen has just said hello and it says insert cell now, press when ready. So I'll press the button and it says the cell voltage. The cell voltage isn't accurate, it's a little bit off. I mean, the cell should never be 4.27 volts, so we'll need to tweak that a little bit, but anyway, for now it's good. So we press that and then the LED, the draining LED says, it's draining. The screen's messed up, so we'll need to resolve that. And then if we press it again, in other words, abort the drain, then it comes up with the summary which says time taken 0. Again, it's messed up. The LED works, so draining's gone off and complete's gone on, and then we're back to the menu. So we'll need to address at least 3 issues there. At some point, we need to get the voltage to be, more accurate. Then we need the 2 screens, which is the drain screen and the summary screen, to work properly. But before I do that, let's just zoom out. Before I do that, there's another change that I need to make. Something I've just done, which I'll tell you about, is that you see this this cell holder here. I've upgraded it for a more premium type, and the reason being this is more like a bed style thing, where you just place it in, and it's got 2 not springs but 2 bent pieces of metal, and it's much better. You get a far better connection, and it's easy to take them in and out. These ones here, they have like a wrap around them. You see these like things that really grip onto the cell, and it makes it really hard to get them out. And also, it's not got a good connection here. It expects like a raised piece of metal that pushes into the contact here, but these cells don't have the raised contact. So yeah, these cell holders, I mean, they're okay for different projects and stuff, but they're not really suited to this, where you need to take the cell in and out quite often. So yeah, I've upgraded it to this one. If I remember, I'll put the link on eBay on the description for that holder, but this holder's much better. Anyway, so I suppose the first thing we'll do is get on with trying to make the menus work properly. Okay, we seem to be having some memory problems here, so I'm just going to try and tidy up this code and see if I can get rid of anything. To start with, that should be const, so const float VPP, then float VDrop amperage load resistance, well that should be const as well, const, so VDrop and amperage, where are they used? VDrop and amperage, so VDrop is used in the loop, okay, anywhere else? No, so it's used in the loop only. And amperage, where's that used? Amperage. Seems to be the same. So so they could be initialized over here actually in the loop. I'm not sure if there's going to be a great benefit of doing it, but I'll do it anyway. So loop, where's the loop? Do I really want them to be recreated though? I don't think I do really, but let's give it a go anyway. What have we got down here? So we've got these other ones, so yeah, we've got them down there, so why not? I'll just put it over here. So float VDrop. I don't suppose there's much point in putting it there. And amperage as well, so amperage, float amperage. So let's compile that, or attempt to compile it. Let's see what it comes up with. So then we've got this sum and average. I'm going to take average out because I want that to be worked out in menu 5, so it doesn't really need to be set out over here. I'll just wait for this to compile first. Yeah, it's compiled okay. So average amperage, that doesn't really need to be there, that can be in menu 5. So go down here to wherever it is, average amperage, it doesn't need to be there. That's because I don't want it to do the calculations in menu 4, because menu 4 will be repeating every second. At the moment it repeats every 5 milliseconds, but that's just ridiculous. I'll have to change that in a bit. Oh, what's happened here? Average amperage was not declared. Oh, that's fine. So let's recompile. where are we up to now? So some amperage, that does need to be global. Unsigned long current time, what's happened here now? Menu 5, yeah, I know about that, but that's going to be over here. So yeah, float average amperage equals 0. We'll fill that in at another time. So let's control R. Of course that needs to be sorted out, but let's try and tidy the code up first. And then after I've tidied up, I can start looking at the menus and tidying them up. So some amperage, we need that. Current time, I think that's only used in the loop, so I don't really think that needs to be there. It's probably better in the loop, so let's go down here to the loop, whatever it is, here. Unsigned long current time equals millis. I might as well do it that way. Current time equals millis. So somewhere down here I think I set it to millis again, so I don't need to do that now. Control T, Control S, Control R. Let's just keep a track of this thing, make sure we're not doing anything silly. This draining, complete and paused, if I remember rightly, they're not actually used anywhere, or they don't need to be used anywhere anyway. So I think I can get rid of those because you know something's draining if we're in menu 4. We know something's complete if we're in menu 5, and paused we never actually used. So I think I'm right in saying we can actually get rid of those. So draining, complete, paused, they can go. And let's get rid of any instances where they're used. Draining, right, well we're in menu 4, so we know we're draining anyway, so I can get rid of that. And I can get rid of that too. Right, so what else are we looking for now? Paused or draining? Over here, I'm sure we've got something over, oh there you go, draining on. And that's that done. Now this complete thing, I don't think that's used anywhere either, so let's have a look. Yeah, you see, it's not actually used, so there's no point in that being there either, so we'll get rid of that. Let's just do Control and R to make sure everything's okay. I may have missed where one of the variables is mentioned somewhere. Right, so previous switch state, that needs to be, oh, what have we done here? Crosses initialization of float amperage. What's this mean? This is very peculiar, but for some reason, when I put the if statement back in, then the error didn't happen anymore, so I don't know what's going on there, but I've just put the if statement back in, so I've just written if true, then do this stuff, and then that no longer has the crossover error or whatever it was. I don't fully understand what was going on there, but if you put the if statement back in, it works. So let's carry on cleaning up. So we'll go back to the start. Current menu, of course we need that. Previous switch state, do we need that? I believe we do, yeah, we do need that. Then unsigned long, drain start millis, we do need that, and we need it to be there as well so that the two methods can work with it. And drain stop millis, we need that too. So what else have we got down here that we could potentially work with? Well, we can delete that, not that it's going to save any memory, but we can delete all this. What else have we got over here? So turn load on, we turn it off, that's fine. Then we write the hello stuff and menu 1. Let's just check this as well. Drain stop millis equals millis, and then we write, and then completed. Okay, menu 1 completed, false. Clear the display, set the menu, and then we write the menu. Menu 2, right, what's this here? Analog read, preload voltage multiplier VPP. Okay, that's fine. Menu 3, what do we do in menu 3? Okay, we know what that is, that's fine. Menu 4, right, now as far as I can see, the code is pretty clean, and I suppose that's a little bit worrying really, because we've got low memory. The next thing I've done is over in the in menu 4 in the loop. You remember I had an if statement. It said if true then blah blah blah. Well, I've changed that to say if the current time, or the time now, is greater than the last update plus the update interval, then refresh the screen. And that's of course what we want, because before it was updating at every 5 milliseconds. So yeah, do that. And then I've also put on the bottom here, the last update equals the current time. And basically what it does is it allows the Arduino to keep track of the time the thing was last updated. So even though we delay 5 milliseconds, every time it comes to menu 4 it says, oh well, hang on a minute, when was the last update? And if it was if the last update was more than a second ago, then it does it, or if not, then it doesn't do it. So that's what I've written here. If the current time is greater than the last update plus the update interval, then run the code. If not, don't. And then over here I've got the two variables, wherever they are. Where are they? Here. Last update equals 0, so it's unsigned long, and int update interval equals 1000. And let's have a look at this. So we've got the battery voltage, the amperage, and the current time. Now, if I remember rightly, that's about halfway through around the screen, and it's, you know, it's not quite right. So I'll say that can be, I don't know, 92 or something like that. That's the horizontal position of the text, which they're only small numbers, so I want them to be on the right side. Now over here we've got a problem. We've got current time divided by 1000, but that's not really what we want, because current time is millis. Over here you can see that it's millis, wherever it is. There, millis. So that will return the time since the Arduino started or got turned on, but that's not what we want. We want the time since the drain. So where's drain? So drain start. So if we take the drain start from the time now, we should be able to get the amount of well, the duration of the drain. So where were we again? Here. So current time, take away drain start millis. That should be what we want. Oh, okay, there's something important here as well. This needs to be in brackets, because of course in maths a division symbol has higher priority, so whatever. So now let's do Control S. I've compiled it. Well, in fact I'll just compile it again to make sure we've got no problems, and let's go from there. While we're here, we might as well draw the labels for these as well. So the labels will be drawn when we first you know, start up menu 4. So when menu 4 is drawn, wherever that is, menu 4 here, we need to write the labels. So the labels will probably start on the left hand side, so probably 16 or something like that. And we need to keep these things short just in case. So voltage, this can be amperage, voltage, amperage, duration, I suppose, duration, Control T, Control S, Control, well, I won't need to control and all that, I'm pretty confident that'll be fine. What's next? Well, next I'll just make sure that the variables are set up properly. So when we first start menu 4, we need to make sure that the variables are reset. So maybe, I don't know, let's go over to it and have a look anyway. Menu 4. Yeah, when we create menu 4, there's a variable, I think it's called sum amps, is it? Yeah, this one. That needs to be reset, and possibly I think we already do something with drain start millis, and voltage should be okay. So we need to reset this one. So menu 4, let's put it in here. So that will be 0, and that's just in case you you drain a cell and then go on to the next one. It wouldn't, you know, there's nowhere to reset that. So let's Control T, Control S and Control R again and make sure that's okay. Right, that compiled okay. So there's another thing I need to do now, and that's you can see the horizontal position, but we need to change the vertical position because these are all stuck up to the top of the screen at the moment. So what's the actual size of the screen? I think it's 64. So let's do it in 12. So we've got 12, 24, 36. That should be okay. So 12, 24, 36, and then we need to go down here, wherever it is, here. 12, 24, 36. So this just sets the vertical position of the menu parts. So right, there's something I need to show you before I or something I need to do before I show you you know, how the thing's looking on the camera. This fill rect business here. So what actually happens is that labels are printed on the left side of the screen and they're not reprinted. You know, they're written once and that's it. However, the values here, which are on the right side, which are the battery voltage, amperage, etc., these are of course written every second. So what happens is I draw a black rectangle over them to blank them off, and then I just reprint whatever the values are. That's not the only way you can do it, but that's going to be the way I do it. Anyway, this needs to be right. So 92, that's X start, so it's the horizontal position where the rectangle starts. So the horizontal position 92, 92, so that's right there. Then this will be Y, or Y start, which is the vertical position. So 0, that's also right. But I think these two will be wrong. So width, now the width, it's not going to be 64 because if I remember rightly, the screen is 128 wide. So if I just get a can't get a calculator actually. Right, so is it going to be 32? I think it will be. What's 32? Add that. So it's 124, and then the height of the thing, we need the rectangle to be 64, which is the height of the actual OLED. And I'm just going to give it a go now. So int current time, let's say well, we can't call it current time, I'll have to call it current time 2 or something, equals current time divided by 1000, and also we need another one of those, int drain start millis 2 equals drain start millis divided by 1000. So this is to change them from milliseconds into seconds, of course, and also it's int, which means there are no it's not a decimal, there are no remainders. So here we've got int in seconds, and now if I put this in here, I won't need the second thing anymore. In fact, I won't need the parentheses anymore either. Let's try and upload that and see if that works. Okay, so it says hello, insert. I think this will probably fix the problem. Yeah, there we go. So 3 point whatever volts, amps, and duration. So there's no weird, I called it an artifact before, but it wasn't. It was just, there was, for a split second, it was just printing a weird value. It would be correct, but it's just a logic error, something I did wrong. So anyway, that's sorted out now, and we're using int rather than just float on its own. So far so good, and if I press the button now, it'll go to the next menu, which is not finished yet. So I'll go back to the main menu, and that will do for now. Thank you for watching. Bye!